epic poem song of Hiawatha. Minnie was the princess bride of Hiawatha, and her name means laughing waters. Storm threatened for a few minutes, but first people to see this lake were the Iroquois, and they named the lake Andiatarocte, or Lake that shuts itself in. If you look around, you'll see that's an apt description. We are completely surrounded by the foothills of the Adirondacks. Later, French Jesuit priest Father Isaac Jogues, the first European to see this lake, he renamed it Lac du Saint-Sacrement, or Lake of the Blessed Sacrament. And in 1755, Sir William Johnson, Sir Bill, he renamed the lake to honor his then King George II, English monarch at the time. Mountains off to our right, the French mountains, and this lake, you may recall, were featured prominently in James Fenimore Cooper's classic novel, Last of the Mohicans. In the novel, he refers to the lake as Horicon. In fact, lobbied for the rest of his life to get the name of the lake changed. Thought it was a shame that such a beautiful American lake, the Queen of American Lakes, was named to honor an English king. Structures with the screened-in porches and the red boathouse are all part of Camp Weowaka. Weowaka was established around the turn of the last century by Miss Margaret Wilsey Fuller. She was a famous feminist of her day, and she enlisted the help of millionaire financier. Let's say hello on our steam whistle. As you make your way around the Mini tonight, you may want to stop by our engine room. It's down on the first deck aft. It's enclosed by glass. It has an observation deck. You can walk right in and see the operation of a real steam engine. Hosts a boiler that creates 6,000 pounds of steam pressure per hour, and that steam operates two horizontally placed reciprocating engines that turn that 12-foot wooden paddle wheel back there. That's all that's pushing us through the water right now. We are a real steamboat, folks. You do go down to our engine room, you may notice that there's a small diesel engine that operates a single propeller. It's not in use right now. You don't use it if it's windy or if we need to move further and faster up the lake. That was added at the end of the '98 season. At that time, the Mini underwent a major overhaul. We pulled her out of the water, cut her in half, added 34 feet to her midships, added a new bar, restrooms, elevator, and some other features we hope you're enjoying. We're proud of the new Mini. And if you do go down to our engine room tonight, be sure to say hello to our chief engineer on duty, Mr. Richie Laustra. And if you want to see what the Mini looked like when we cut her in half and what it took to put her back together again, there's a series of pictures on the second deck in the rear of the compartment on the right or starboard side of the boat. You should check them out. All right, kids, look along the shoreline, see if you can find a famous American statue. If you see it, point to it. I said kids, man. Come on now, let's pay attention. No, that's okay. This is a game for kids of all ages. Yes, that's the Statue of Liberty over there, underneath that American flag. She spends the summers here in Lake George. Looks much taller on television. And it's at this point in the cruise, we on the Mini. I think it's appropriate to take a moment to acknowledge any men and women on board in the armed services and their families, and of course our veterans. Thank you for your service. Yeah. We're often asked if the folks around the lake use fertilizer on their lawns, their gardens, and their farms. We understand that you gotta make things look nice, but it's fertilizer. They find their way back into the lake. After a good rain, they leach into the lake, and it's causing problems with the ecosystem and with some of the wildlife. And if you don't think it's a big problem, check out that giant duck over there. This white boathouse and the structures up on the hill, they're all part of St. Mary's on the Lake. St. Mary's was built by the Paulist Fathers of New York City. They've been sending their seminarians here for over 150 years. St. Mary's on the Lake. That's Braylock. Braylock is a Gaelic term which means hillside and water. And that large brown structure over there, that's not a resort, folks, that's a single-family home. Same family owns that structure there to the left. That's their doghouse. Or guest house, we're not sure. And if you're looking for a summer retreat, folks, you're in luck. It is for sale. How much do you think one might have to pay for a home like that? What do you think? Got $2 million down here. Somebody said $5 million. $4.9 million.
That was close. Oh, look at that. That's nice. That's nice. Are we gonna have dinner down here?
Where in recent years the Declaration of Independence made its return. Actually, it was one of the copies. Days following the presentation of the Declaration of Independence, a man named Dunlop created 220 handwritten copies. They were referred to as the Dunlop broadsides. Copies were sent to villages and cities to let folks know what was actually in the original document. 12 of those survive today. This particular copy was purchased by Norman Lear, famous television producer, and he sent it on a bus trip around the country, sending it to museums and other historical sites. It was here at the fort for a weekend. You could come and view the document, sign another copy for posterity. And there's been a lot of famous visitors at Fort Ticonderoga. George Washington appeared there a couple of times. Ben Franklin several times. Knox King. Henry Knox. Just to name a few. And we have some folks signaling us from the shore. We're going to say hello on our steam whistle. And it's hard to make out up there on the hill. There's a large stone structure up there. It's called the Inn at Erlo West. Once the estate of Edward Shepard. He's a famous New York City attorney. Name may sound familiar. Probably heard of Shepherd Park and Beach down in the village. It's property that was donated by Edward Shepard. He wanted folks to have a place where they could come and enjoy the lake for free. Structures to the right with all those lights on and behind were all added in recent years. There's a bed and breakfast up there, fine dining restaurant, and a banquet hall. The Inn at Erlo West. And do you guys want to hear some really corny pirate jokes? Yes? All right, well, I'm going to apologize right up front. They're really corny. Here we go. First one. What do you call a pirate ship at the bottom of the ocean that's trembling? A nervous wreck. Oh. What did the ocean say to the pirate? He didn't say anything. He decided to just wave. Yeah, that's what I want to hear, those groans. Oh. Yes, corny. All right. Where did the pirate buy his new hook? Answer, IHOP. Yes. Yes. How come it takes so long for a pirate to learn the alphabet? Because he spends way too much time at sea. How come the skeleton wouldn't cross the road? It was once the estate of Charles Tuttle. Charles was prominent in New York politics for many years. In 1930 took a run at the governorship. But he lost in a very close election to a rather worthy opponent, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. His grandfather was Isaac Tuttle, and he was the first pastor of the first church here in Lake George, St. James Episcopal. At that time, Lake George was referred to as Caldwell, New York. And the Tuttle family still owns Halcyon House. And all this property you see. Quite a spot. And this small island is called Tea Island, got its name from the hotel guests who used to row out in the afternoons to enjoy a cup of tea. All that remains of the original tea house is a small stone foundation. And today there's a little camping cottage on the center of the island, very quiet, private, and peaceful setting. Except when I go by and Shine a spotlight in their windows. Stucco and Stone Mansion up on the hill. That is the Everly. Folks love it when we do that. It's once the estate of Colonel Walter Price. Price is not a military man. That was an honorary title. He was a beer brewer in Albany, New York. Today it's owned by the Konzakowskis. They're local entrepreneurs. That's one of the few mansions that's visible from Route 9. It's right there at exit 22 of the Northway. We started a bit of a tradition here on the Mini as we pass by the motel strip of Canada Street. I'd like to play a song for the folks on shore with our steam calliope and for you folks on board. And this one is for Max on his birthday. I'm going to say hello on our steam with. All right, how about that?
I can do that too.
Boardwalk Restaurant and Marina. They're open for lunch and dinner. You bring your ticket stub over there if you're going to still be here tomorrow. You can go over there and get discounts on food items. See, we've almost made our way back to the steel pier. So at this time, we would ask that you would please return to your seat and stay there throughout the docking operation. Also stay off of and well away from any stairwells. Sometimes we land with a bump, but if that were to be the case, we would prefer it if you were sitting. And you folks on the first deck, as we enter the pier area, please keep your head, feet, and hands inside the vessel. We're going to be passing by those large wooden pilings. We'd hate for anybody to get hurt. And now, on behalf of the captain and the entire crew, we'd sincerely like to thank you for sailing with us today. We really enjoyed having you. Hope you enjoyed having a ride aboard the Mini, and hope you enjoy your stay here in the Lake George Adirondack region and come back soon. Now, for one final time, I have to sound that loud steam whistle as navigational warning. There's no boats around, but I still have to do it. Stand by.